Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. Last time on this channel, I introduced you to a very detailed breakdown on task 1 of your writing, and today we're going to do task 2 of your CELPIP writing. In this lesson, we will be looking at a question, a sample example of a student who would score 6, a sample example of a student who will score 9 plus, and we'll look at why. We'll look at a detailed breakdown with the sentences that were different for a level 6, 8, and 9. Then we'll look at advanced and basic vocabulary coming out of that lesson. So lots of things to understand. This is where your mind needs to get ready for how the examiner thinks, because if you think like them, you can score a good mark. The question says, your local town's government wants to create a new entertainment facility for its local residents. So you have two options. You have a zoo or a drive-in. Okay, so option A, build a zoo. Option 2, get a drive-in. So we have a sample answer 6. Right away, I don't like it because there's only 3 paragraphs. The intro is too small. In conclusion is a good size. Body is huge. You should at least have 2 bodies, no matter what kind of essay you write. Essay for CELPIP, IELTS, or any English essay. Yeah, you have to have minimum 2. So it's crowded, and let's have a read. I don't even want to read it now. But okay, so this is how the examiner thinks. Okay, now in my opinion, we should build a drive-in. There's no reason given here why. There should be a there's a lot of reasons for it, but it's not specified. So it's better if the student specified like economic reasons or some reason there. And then the conclusion is because of everything I have said in the above paragraph. That is a problem. It's just 1 paragraph. It should have been 2 at least. I'm very sure that it should not happen. A drive-in will be the best for. So no grammar mistakes, which is good, right? But it's very, very basic writing, things that we say in day-to-day English, and day-to-day English does not get you a 9. We'll see what gets us a 9. Now, when I'm saying that there's only like above paragraph, it's just 1, I do not mean that you should do 2 paragraphs of the same length. That would be too many words. I would take this paragraph and break it into 2 parts. I don't know where his second point starts or her second point, and I would just pick that and start a new paragraph, you know? I'm not saying write more words, just organize your words. And that's another problem I'm noticing here, that I cannot tell where her second point starts. I should be very clearly be able to tell where the second point starts. Like there should be a word like secondly, which is basic. A more advanced word would be moreover, or moving on to my next point. You know, there should be some connector. But okay, we start with firstly, which is again a very basic word. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, everyone is going to use it. Please don't use it. You can use it in speaking because that's where the vocab is not that harsh, and you have a certain questions where you can use them. Writing, you always need to have really good vocab. So I would recommend something here like to begin with, or considering, or given that. Okay. By the way, a lot of you are sending me your writings and you're using given that and comma. Don't do that, okay? Given that is usually given that something something, comma something something else. It's a complex sentence and broken into 2 parts, so be careful with that. Firstly, there will be a great chance to socialize the movie. Okay, I'm going to read quickly because you can also pause and read it. These movies can be learning and it will give the local shops. All right, cool. You know, this so far, what I like here is there's again no grammar mistakes. You see the flow. Firstly, blah blah blah. Then these movies can do this. It'll also give them this. So this is good actually. Like the flow is good, but there's no complex use of vocabulary. And then again, this is a good flow. These could be whatever. So it's continuing like the same topic. So the flow, I like the flow. You cannot use words like I, me, my, you, personal pronouns. You cannot use those in your body paragraphs. You can only use them in the intro. So don't do this stuff. I don't really like the idea of this because they have the rights, and that's why it's a very basic connector too. Nothing great there, and I will not support it. Again, I, which is going to be a mistake. So personal pronouns, lack of structure, lack of great vocabulary, and I think it's less worse too, so lack of detail. Good grammar though, and in some places, good flow as well. Okay, now let's look at a level 9. All right, so here, he or she, the student or him, he mentioned or she mentioned, choice between a this and this presents a complex scenario. Look at the start. It is right away, the first impression is there. It is a general sentence, right? Instead of you just jumping into the opinion, you first start with a general sentence. And these are all in the templates. If you haven't seen our templates, check out our video on HZad Education CELPIP writing templates. YouTube it, you'll find it. I opine that the drive-in would have more pros over cons to it. This is good, as she's listing that there's more. It's not just I opine this, but it's because of this. I would have preferred if she is more specific, or he. It should be more social pros or more pros considering economic certainty, etc. Okay, so we should have had more of that. That would be lovely. Nice paragraphs. Look, one paragraph, second paragraph, right? So there's always two bodies. Nevertheless, easily I can tell that this is a good connector. Starting the next point. To begin with, as I said, use complex connectors, not just firstly. Conclusively, again, beautiful for the conclusion. And there's a lee. I love the lees because lees adverbs give you more marks. This is nicely rephrasing the introduction in a complex way. Try to use these words, guys. Former or latter, all right? They are complex. Google them. I don't want to explain it here because of the shortage of time, but you can use the words like latter to explain the second point of a sentence, former to explain the previous point of a sentence. That is also considered complex vocabulary. Now, she talks about drive-in. Look at these words: top-notch and foster. I'll tell you all the fancy words here. Exception, multitude, dilemma. Dilemma is better than problems. Coziness, you know, all great words. And it continues. Amoral, and that's that. So these are the words. Nevertheless is also pretty good. Outrage is good. Okay. Look at the complex sentences. Considering. The complex sentences start with words like considering. We have a lesson on that too. YouTube, HZad Education complex sentences. You will see what I mean. So that is a complex sentence here, and because it's broken into two parts basically. There's an example given, which is a nice touch. There's a semicolon usage. Once again, HZad Education punctuation marks. We have a lesson on that where I have explained how to use complex punctuation. That includes the use of semicolons, which she has used twice, by the way. She has used good connectors, again, furthermore, to begin with, and nevertheless, and for example, really good connectors, and even here, good connector. She has nicely explained one point here and another point here. It's just like, what else can I ask for, right? Then we have a detailed breakdown. Now, I'm going to read a few of these. You can definitely pause the video and read the rest. But for example, look at a sample 6. It says, in my opinion, we should build a drive-in. Very simple sentence. Sample 8 would be, it is my belief that the drive-in is the best choice. Not bad, but it's just like best is still a basic word. Belief is still a basic word. It's a longer sentence than this one, which makes it more complex, but it's still with basic vocab. Now this one is the longest sentence among the three, and complex vocab, and that brings it to a level 9. Note that none of them have grammar mistakes. So why would you score 6 if you have no grammar mistakes? Because you have bad or basic vocab. Okay. There are a few more examples here that you can read and see. You would see every time you go to a higher level, sentences become complex, vocabulary becomes complex. A few more here for you guys to see. I'm going slow so you can pause the video. Look at this sentence. Sample 6 is that's why. So basic, right? And then here it starts with for the animal's sake, comma, something else should happen. Now, so this is a complex sentence because it's broken into two parts, but still, it's a short, basic sentence. Now, sample 9 is very different. For example, this was an example given, and here is one point of the sentence. Every animal in captivity, fancy word, is or has been separated from their families. And then if we meet the same fate, there would be an outrage. So this is a complex sentence because it starts with if. It is part of a sentence after the semicolon, and it is connected with a connector. This is what I would call a super complex sentence, and that is all good stuff. This is going to be, it's 9 plus, which means 10, 11, 12, but this is a 12 level sentence right here, okay? You can again pause the video, check this out. Firstly, you can say to begin with, right? Also, you can say furthermore. These are the common words you use, right? People use this all the time. Because, say, well, because, you can say nevertheless in some cases, but in most cases you can use due to. Very sure, notably decided. a lot, legions, you know. Finally, conclusively, I'm sure you guys use this word, this, this. They're the replacements, okay? So this is our second question out of the first two. The first one has been discussed before. This is page 8 out of 121. There are a lot more. Okay, a lot more great questions for CELPIP writing, but it basically explains you the level you would need for vocabulary for a speaking or writing exam to score 9, 10, 11, or 12. You can use the same wording, same logic, and concepts for speaking as well. Now, if you want to purchase this bad boy, the link is in the description. This is part of our CELPIP upgrade package, which comes with 5 more mock tests and a completely free feedback, a trial session with one of our tutors live, as well as this detailed feedback, all included in a very affordable price. Check it out. Link is in the description. And if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk soon. Take care.